right, so now that we know what molarity is, and now we know how to calculate molarity, now let's use molarity in our calculations. So what does molarity tell me? So molarity shows the relationship between the moles of solute and liters of solution. So for example, if I had 2 molar sugar solution, I could actually kind of rewrite that. If you remember how we kind of rewrote our percentages, we can rewrite our molarity. So we can kind of break this down into saying this is 2 moles of sugar in 1 liter of solution. So I can kind of break it down into its parts. So if I know that relationship of my moles to my liters, I can use this as a conversion. So say I had a certain amount of moles and I wanted to go to liters. I could use the molarity, I could use this molarity to go to a certain amount of solution. Or say I had a certain amount of solution. I could use the molarity, doesn't let me write in that low. I can use the molarity to get to a certain amount of moles of my solute. So the molarity can be used as a conversion to go from moles or to go from liters. So before we had something that went from mass to volume using density, but now this one helps me, molarity helps me because it relates moles to liters. So it gives me a little bit more specification. All right, so let's look at a problem. This problem says how many liters of a 0.125 molar NaOH solution contains 0.255 moles of NaOH. All right, so what am I looking for? I want liters. Liters of what though? That's important. So I want liters of my NaOH solution. I want to know how much of like this solution. So you could write the whole thing out if you want. But I want to know how much of my NaOH solution I need. Okay, what did they give me? They gave me the molarity of my NaOH solution. They gave me the moles of my NaOH. So they gave me the moles and they gave me the molarity, and I'm looking for liters, okay? So I need liters. So one of the things I want you to recognize is that they gave you molarity. So remember, molarity is a broken down unit. Molarity is moles over liters. So when they gave me the molarity, they're also telling me this relationship. So remember, I can write 0.125 molar as 0.125 moles, in 1 liter. So remember, I can break that relationship apart. So if you're not sure where to start, remember we always want to start with the less complicated thing. So this is 1 unit. This has 2 units within it. Okay? So we don't want to start with the more complicated thing. We want to start with the simpler thing. So we want to start with the 0.255 moles of NaOH. I have NaOH moles. I'm trying to get to liters. So I have moles, I need liters. So I need something that relates the moles and the liters. That's why it's important to know that my molarity, it relates my moles and my liters. So I could use the molarity to go from one to the other. So if I have moles of NaOH, the moles of NaOH is going to go on the bottom. And I'm trying to get to liters of my solution. Well, what relates moles of NaOH to liters of solution? The molarity of my NaOH. So I have the molarity of my NaOH. That's the 0.25. And I already broke it apart. It's 0.125. The 0.125 goes with the moles. And then I'm assuming 1 liter. So 0.125 goes on the bottom. and the 1 goes on top. So moles of NaOH cancel, and when I do the math, top divided by bottom, I get 2.04 liters of my solution. So this is just using molarity as a conversion between moles and liters, or I could do it the other way around. I could go from liters to moles using the molarity. All right, so now we know what molarity is, how to find molarity, and how to use it as conversion. Now we're going to talk about something that's related to this that uses molarity, and that's called dilution. And we'll talk about that on the next lecture.